AI video is now starting to take over social media in ways I don't think any of us could have really predicted. It's all over short form videos, of course, but it's starting to take over all kinds of social feeds, whether it's images, but specifically video now is starting to have a moment, and it's happening faster than we all expected. Also, in this episode, we're going to be getting into a little bit of a debate between the two of us. I'm going to be talking about how I think all marketers, or at least a lot of marketers, are going to be vibe coders within the next 12 months. But welcome back to Bot Bros, a segment of the AI-driven marketer where we talk about the news that marketers need to pay attention to when it comes to AI, because there's so much hype out there. We're trying to find the things that are the most helpful for marketers in the sea of updates going on out there. I'm Dan Sanchez, and I'm joined by my brother, Travis Sanchez.
Hey.
So let's jump into that first story. Your feeds. If you haven't been on social media in the last couple of weeks, maybe you haven't noticed, but I'm assuming that you've been on TikTok or Instagram Reels or some YouTube Shorts, and you've seen what's going on. I mean, it's happening on LinkedIn. It's happening on X. Like, it's kind of everywhere, but it's really apparent in the short form videos. Trav, what have you seen going on out there yourself?
The things that stick out to me the most when it comes to social media content, one are the videos that start normal. It's like a human talking to the camera and they're moving about the room. And then all of a sudden the whole room starts shifting in this bad dream level creepiness where sometimes the person turns inside out and then their face, I don't know if you've seen these videos where it's almost like terrifying. It hits me different in a way that I'm like, this is not right. And then there is the satisfying AI videos, like we talked about, I think last week, cutting fruit with a knife that's made of glass. And just, I don't know who is sound engineering it. I don't know if that's Sora sound engineering it, but the video is so crispy and clean. The sound is amazing. So it's just like,
it's like this whole ASMR experience on top of something visually.
It's like mental floss.
Satisfying.
Somehow it's just like,
mental floss.
Yeah, I just love it.
That's kind of the thing.
I'm trying to think of the other AI videos that people have been coming out with. Oh, and then marketing. People trying to use like their own talking head with, I think it's Gen AI uses talking head stuff, which I think is the worst. When I see any sponsored ad with a talking head AI generated person, gives me like the cringe vibes so hard.
There's AI influencers out there showing product. And I mean, I've heard Gary Vee say this many times that like all of us have seen an AI influencer showing some kind of basic product, and it's just not even a real person. It's just fake.
I know.
Sometimes it's sponsored, sometimes it's not. So this is the beginning, and it's getting faster, because I didn't expect AI to really start hitting social like this until it got better. But I think creators are just getting creative with what you can and can't do. And they're testing it to the point where they're finding the things that work. They're finding that fear factor, that gross factor, that what the heck is this factor, or that satisfying ASMR. Leave it to creators. We'll get creative and trying to find that thing that hits the algo, and they'll just keep testing things over and over. But with AI video, you get unlimited shots. It's like the world's your oyster, because you can have whatever you can come up with in your head, you can now make. It doesn't matter if it's like $100 million looking film, as long as it's 5 seconds or 8 seconds, you can pretty much produce it, which is just crazy.
Have you seen the Yeti or gorilla, or I guess it's like Bigfoot dudes?
The vlog Yeti. Yeah.
The vlog.
Hey Yeti, guys, I'm up in the tree.
That one's taken over like crazy.
Or the one that I've seen over and over again. This one's more on X, demonstrating like a new AI feature, but it's gone viral on X, is the cats diving off the diving board.
I haven't seen it.
They look hyper realistic. It looks like a cat diving. Now, the weight of the cat hitting the diving board, you're like, a cat wouldn't be able to push the diving board down that much. But it definitely looks like a cat doing a few flips in a rare and then landing into the water. And the sound of the diving board, the sound of the water sounds real. And the motion of the cat, you've seen the AI videos where it's like showing a gymnast or a diver and the limbs go all nuts.
Yeah,
this one looks good.
Oh,
this one looks good. Yeah, the cat looks real jumping into the water. Those are going viral. I'm like, okay.
Baby, every turning Theo Vaughn or Donald Trump into babies.
Babies on podcasts.
I don't know what about that was so fun to watch, but it sure was.
Yeah. This is only going to continue. And this is why it's important to talk about today, because we are no longer just competing with other creators. We are no longer competing with other just marketers. We're competing with creators and marketers with AI and the possibility of creating just about everything. And it's
Uh-huh.
only going to get crazier as the technology becomes more capable. Because right now, you got to render quite a few to get what they're getting right now. But it's just nuts. This is the attention we have to compete for. We have to compete with creators that are extremely creative, and there's a lot of them. So there's a law of numbers going for
Well, and they
creators.
can, how fast can they produce and test their ideas in their creativity to see what
Right.
sticks?
And marketers tend to go slow because we got to get approvals, right? We got to have, we got to have like 5 layers of people like sign off on creative before we run it sometimes. And that's going to be a problem because creators are going to be able to run businesses way faster and set up all kinds of weird ads that get attention. There's certainly going to be a lot of arbitrage going on where people figure out a hack and then they figure out how
Yeah.
to monetize it and then they
Yeah.
sell it. But because it's AI, people can duplicate it really fast and spin it up. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a weird attention war that we're getting into. And marketers, you need to be aware of it because I'm amazed what it is now. It's going to get crazier. It's just going to get crazier.
Extreme
Um,
example, Iran trying to use AI to create an image of a downed F-35, convincing
oh,
the
yeah.
American people that
Yeah.
they have downed an Israeli American-made F-35 and they have an Israeli woman hostage. And bro, I don't know if you've seen the memes
I
behind that
have.
one image. They're like, "Hey, Iran took down a Star Destroyer and they put a Star Destroyer
Oh,
from
yeah.
Star
I've seen
Wars
that
in
one. That's
the
funny.
image." I'm like, Iran's marketing team. Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
truth is going to become a
Oh,
premium. And this is probably like if you're marketing and you're trying to go for the long term, this is where we're going to play in the future because the quick hacks are going to be difficult to compete with. But if we can play the long game, and it's really hard for marketers to play the long game because the quarterly cycle
yeah, I
wants
was gonna
numbers
say.
now. So I don't know, get good at doing the creator cheap hack thing to get something new, but then you're always on the hook for finding that cheap viral hack. Really
Right.
hard piggybacking off the cheap viral hacks and being the second in, or play the long game, which is build trust, be that solid voice showing up over and over again, even
Right.
though you don't go viral nearly as much, you don't get attention, but people keep coming back because they want something substantial. They want somebody human actually analyzing and speaking into these things and sharing stories, which AI will never be able to do. To be like this, oh, you too kind of thing.
I just talked to a friend about how truth on social media is only going to get more difficult. People creating realistic news breaks or whatever it's called when there's hot news off the press, breaking news.
Breaking
And
news.
when the person talking behind a desk, there's not a lot of motion. So it's a lot easier to fake a talking head. And she's like, breaking news. And then it says something funny at the end. And you're like, oh my gosh, I thought that was actually a real
Real
breaking news
breaking
segment
news.
off of CNN, Fox, whatever you listen to. And how live performance is going to be extraordinarily more valuable because you're able to know that you know what you're seeing is real versus on social media, even emotions and authentic stories might not be genuine. So it's hard to know where the future of truth is on the video side.
I think it's
Yikes.
going to be personal brands from verified accounts doing thought leadership, essentially just trigger the balloons, leading people's
Right,
thinking and just showing up over and over again.
right.
The people that are like just showing up, they're political commentators, they're marketers, they're like Alex Hermosi showing up and they're just showing up regularly, adding value, being real over and over again. Eventually, blockchain will be able to verify if it actually came from them,
Yeah.
and we'll need that. Like those verified accounts and paying attention. Did it actually come from their account? Well, did it come from the verified account? That's going to
Wow.
be the source of truth that we're leaning on. And we're going to have to lean on experts like that in order to cut through the noise because there's going to be so much of it.
I saw a video of Trump, not to continue to beat this dead horse, but I saw a video of Trump in the Oval Office making an announcement, and it looked real because it was kind of fuzzy as if someone copied a video, copied a video, copied a video, copied a video. Sounded like him, looked like him, and I looked at it and I went, he wouldn't say that. That is not something he would say. And sure enough, comments after comments of all of the baby boomers who are so, one, patriotic for Trump, and two, they just believe everything. So they're like, oh, he finally said Jesus is the King of Kings. That's amazing. I was like, he did not say that. This is not a real video. Anyways, but I was almost convinced that it was. I was like, whoa, I can't believe. And then I looked at him like, no.
Truth. It's going to be at a premium.
Yeah.
That's where marketers need to double down.
For sure.
Unfortunately, marketers aren't really known for truth. So marketers, you got to get your stuff together. Stop lying. Stop pushing the truth. Next in the news is Anthropic has been pushing heavy on this code thing for a while now, and this is where they're going. And OpenAI is trying to catch up with them now because they realize this is really powerful. But they've launched new things. Claude has just launched something called AI-powered artifacts. Now, if you didn't know, artifacts are like, like ChatGPT has a canvas mode.
Okay.
Right? You can write it and open it up into like a separate doc window where you can edit what ChatGPT gives you.
Yes.
Claude has that too. It's called an artifact. It's just canvas.
Weird.
But the difference is you can in an artifact you can actually code applications and it can render the code, little mini apps. And in Claude, you can actually share a URL of that to someone who's not even in Claude and share like, oh, look, here's a little like style guide and it's designed up and stuff. You could share a little. Yeah, I've seen people make little Jeopardy boards. It's actually interactive. It didn't have a database in it, but like it didn't matter. Now they launched it so it's AI powered. You can actually build a little mini AI powered app that runs some kind of like maybe it's like a next level up from a custom GPT where you can put instructions like, hey, when someone puts in this, run it through this system and then format it this way. But now it's like being able to code your own little mini powered AI applications.
Wow.
Claude's also launched their own AI like they essentially did a deep integration with the AI code agent into something called VS Studio or Visual. I think it's called Visual Studio, which is an old school app that's been out there for free forever. That it's kind of like a beginning coding app. Most people who start to code and really take the path of learning how to code have used this. And they did an awesome integration to something that was free. People are paying for Cursor or other code apps. Like I started paying for Lovable, which is like this code website when I used it to spin up some landing pages recently because building landing pages sucks. ChatGPT can now write all the copy for you, and it might even be able to design like a little thumbnail of like what the landing page could look like, but you can't like it, the design to the code was always difficult. But now with Lovable, you're like, make me a landing page. Here's all the copy from ChatGPT. Make it look like this website. Bam, full landing page.
Really?
Oh, it's off a little bit there. Hey, fix this, this, and this. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, and embed this form from my CRM. Bam, done. I built a landing page in like 30 minutes. And it usually takes me at least 4 hours to build a landing page, even with the drag and drop builder. And think about how often we have to build landing pages as marketers, like just one-off pages to advertise a new thing. We just vibe code that sucker. That's why I'm thinking, like within the next year, most of us will be vibe coding. I'll say over 50% of marketers who are into AI will be vibe coding.
This is where I started to disagree because I don't see marketers as specialists as deep as coding. Now I know you are because I think you started coding before you became more into marketing. Is that right?
They kind of happen
kind of hand in hand. I'm just saying, I don't think most marketers have the knowledge base of coding like you do. So I don't think everyone will be vibe coding. I think they'll still be leaning on their developers and the developers who know it will just be able to multiply their effectiveness and efficiency 10x.
I think it'll become to the point where you don't even need to know what I know within the next year. I think they'll be that good. Like you won't have to know crap about code. You won't even have to know HTML. And a lot of marketers know how to little bit of HTML. They're like, oh, bold tag.
Coding will become obsolete is what you're saying? Like people won't even talk about coding. They're just like, go build the website. And you're like, oh yeah, all you have to do is tell it what to build.
Oh, it'll still be a thing. Like for basic things like landing pages and basic applications, you won't need to know anything. But obviously to go deeper, it's kind of like learning how to do math when all of us use calculators. Like when's the last time you've done long division? Never.
20
Do you
years
still
ago.
kind of know how to do long division? Yeah, you could draw it up like you did in elementary school, but like you don't do it anymore. It'll be the same thing for code. Like people will still learn how to code, just like engineers learn how to do calculus. Do they do calculus? No, they all use software to do all that crap.
They
They never
understand
do calculus. It'll be the same thing with code. Like you'll learn how to code, but like if you're building the stuff that's really hard just to keep the AI agents in
that's what
check.
I'm
But I
saying.
think it's the same
But
thing.
you're acknowledging my point. If you go into marketing, listen, I don't have a degree in marketing. If you have a degree in marketing, do you take coding classes?
No.
No, you take coding classes in computer science, right?
Yes.
Just because a program does the calculus for me in an engineer program doesn't mean I'm going to go start designing bridges just because I have a program that does the calculus for me. So it's the same thing I'm saying with marketers. Just because the program does it for me doesn't mean that I'm going to start.
I don't know. I think it'll be so easy though. Kind of like Squarespace. You know, you go into Squarespace, it sets you up a template, and bam, you're a web designer. It's just people build crappy websites, but it still works. And I think AI will get smart enough just within the next year that a lot of marketers will be like, we'll be building things with code.
Maybe this is
it could
less
be a
to
thing.
do with the marketer and coding and more to do with personality because I'm not like you. I don't get interested in a topic and then deep dive 20,000 feet to figure out, okay, what's at the bottom of this. I go about 5,000 feet and I'm like, what's the 20% I need to know so it feels like I know 80%? You're like, no. I'm going to
Maybe.
know 98%. And of course, there will always be 2 to 5% maybe that I don't know, but I'm going to be the technician, I'm going to be the manager, and I'm going to be the executive on this subject. That's how you tackle things, not me. That is, and maybe that's a
And that's
personality
why
thing.
that's why I'm doing some vibe coding now. And like the advanced AI people out there are. Like this is kind of like, but I also thought like 2 years ago, a year ago, I thought it was obvious that most people would be using custom GPTs now, and they're not. So
Exactly. This
because
is a
custom GPTs
perspective
are
thing.
really simple.
You're like, people are going to eat all marketers are just going to be doing this day and night. I'm like, no, they won't. It's a personality thing, I think.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna keep my stake in the ground, and we'll revisit this a year from now. Because last year we made a stake in the ground around AI video, and you're like, I think we could be looking at like some AI movie type stuff,
By the end
maybe
of the
even
year,
full length by this time next year. I'm like, nah, bro, no. I'm
I
like,
think
we are
close.
well on our
Yeah.
freaking way to that now. You're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
um, Moving on to the sponsor of this show, which is High Level, one of the freaking amazing things. Like I've been downing agents over and over again because there's mostly no agents, but like High Level has this like conversational agent that is just amazing. Like you can literally pop up a phone number, assign an agent to it, and then when people call in, it actually answers. Starts off with whatever you script it with, and then can answer people's questions based on all the information you've loaded it with, website you've trained it on, and it's actually it sounds really good. Like it's obviously still AI, and I kind of like that, so it's not confusing. And I even put it in the script to say it's an AI agent, but it can be like, hey, oh yeah, can I send you some information about that? Can I text it to this number? Oh yeah, okay, I just texted you the PDF with that pricing sheet on it. But I'd have a feeling you'd probably want to talk to somebody about it. Would you like to book a meeting with one of our consultants on it? Okay, well, what we have some time available on Thursday around noon or later in the afternoon. Is that a good time for you? Like it actually walks through booking the
Wow.
meeting. Like, it doesn't even send you a link so that you can go book it. It just books it right there with you on the phone. I'm like, that is like 90% of use cases you want a receptionist to do
100%.
that AI agents through High Level can now do for like $100 a month on top of all the other stuff it does. This is one of my favorite use cases for it now.
After talking with ChatGPT yesterday, just the proficiency and professionalism and quickness of its response, if High Level's able to get that kind of speed and accuracy in terms of response time, I'm like, yeah, I could see that. Even me being a human calling in and just hearing about it, you're like, even if I know it's an AI talking to me, but it's so proficient, you're like, I don't care. I got what I needed to get done. Man, that's amazing.
I I think it's amazing. In past life, in a different job, we generated too many leads. I couldn't follow up with them all. Now, High Level's agent can't do this yet, where I can go outbound And I generally don't like to cold call people, but imagine if you're getting a lot of leads and you could follow up with all of them within 5 minutes to answer basic questions and book meetings. I'm like,
Right.
dude, I'd sign up for that. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Like, hey, I just saw you sign up for that. Usually people who sign up for that have these basic questions. Would you like to talk about it now? Or if you don't want to talk to AI, can I book a meeting with you? You know, it's kind of like there's some scripts that you can lead in that are still just considerate. Let's put it that way.
But high level doesn't do that output yet, but it probably is on
It's
its
soon.
way.
I see it. It's actually like a button that's like grayed out, like coming soon
Oh,
in there.
really?
I'm like, ooh, it's
Oh.
coming. Come on. Let's move on to everyday AI though. Tell me what you've been using AI for on just a normal, regular basis.
Yeah, so I needed to reach out to the city officials for some volunteer programs. Basically, have a serve day coming up where we want to serve the local community. And I was looking through the website, and it's like fill out this general form to get into contact with someone. I was like, you know what? I'm going to use O3 on chat to give me the contact, the number that I need. I need a phone number that I can call right now. So I said, I need a phone number of the right person, a decision maker who can help me understand if what I want is possible. So it went through, researched, and then found me the number. And I called, I forgot her name, Carol. I was like, hi, Carol, here's what I need. Are you the person? She's like, I'm definitely the person. I can't help you with what your need is. And I was like, let's go. It got me the exact, because how long do you go on Google and you're looking for the number, blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
No. O3 got it for me in like 3 minutes, called, got my work done. And I was like, yep.
Was it a deep research report or just O3 just going in there and figuring it out?
I wouldn't use the deep research thing for that, but
yeah, deep research is overkill. The deep research is when you need a lot.
O3 is perfect. I'm like,
yeah. If you just need a sniper to go and be like, I need you to go find this for me. Go on a mission. Go. And it comes back. I found it. It's like a dog that like just goes and finds the ball. You're like, it's gone. Get him, Lassie. It's out.
So here's a very nerd way I've also been using AI. I am really into Minecraft. I think it's the most fun game. I play with my kids, but it's kind of it's a game where there's so much lore. There are so many aspects of the game that go different directions. Like, it's just the knowledge base is huge. I'm like, I don't know what the heck this is. To have ChatGPT where you can ask it a question on just about anything, like how does this work? Why does this work? How do I make it work? It reminds me of coding, because if you're trying to ask a question to understand something, it just knows the answer right away. That's another thing I've been using ChatGPT for in a playful manner with my kids. And all the time my kids go, ask ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT. Like, that is the main, they know if I don't know something, like they don't say
Chat
Google
knows.
it.
Chat
They
knows.
just go ask Chat.
Yeah. My 2 use cases for the week were, I had, just for fun, I was playing around with MidJourney because I have an annual subscription. I like unsubscribed from it, but I still have it. I gave ChatGPT a photo of myself and said, hey, turn this into an 8-bit photo. So it turned it into an 8-bit me. It was kind of cool. And then I uploaded it to MidJourney to animate. It had these cool glasses on and me doing like a fist like pump. And I'm like, okay, go motion fist pump to like bump the camera. And it did. It delivered. It gave me 4 options. One was closer. And I just used it for a little social post as a little test on like being creative with these things. I'm just always playing with it. I'm like, I wonder if I could animate some 8-bit coolness, which I love. 8-bit styles is kind of one of my, I love that style of, it's almost like art to me.
Yeah. Agreed.
And so I posted it on LinkedIn. It was just a little social post, but I think marketers, we need to be thinking about like how to use it for all little kinds of creative things and creative styles and cross styles. And can we make an image with it here and then animate over with MidJourney or like switch it around? You know, I think, so I'm playing with it. Another one I came up with, just ChatGPT making a social post for me. I was like, I really keep talking about this illustration of like Google being a maze where you have to wander around and hit every dead end before you find the answer. If you find the answer,
True.
And ChatGPT, like wandering through a maze with GPS, it just finds it through. I'm like, ChatGPT, turn that into a side-by-side illustration of the 2 mazes. It did. Gave me one of like it hitting all the dead ends and not even finding the out. ChatGPT kind of goes around and shoots right through it. You're like, this is what it's like. That posted pretty well on LinkedIn. It was great.
Wow.
So I'm using it more for social content and just to use the graphic component. I highly recommend it. Let's move on to the poll of the week. I actually forgot to do a poll. So I stole a poll from Sam Altman, who's using a poll to kind of tease all of us. This might need some context. You'll have to tell me, Trav. But he said, "What do you think an O3 mini level model will run? Or sorry, what year do you think an O3 mini level model will run on a phone?" And he gave 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028 plus. Okay.
Okay,
Now it gives.
I read that question and I went,
I have no
doesn't
idea
it
what that means.
already? And I'm like, oh no, I guess it doesn't. It runs on other servers. So I'm guessing he
Yeah.
means runs uh natively on the phone, which would be without internet connection, right?
So think about that. How you just had a model that went and found that phone number for you.
Right.
That was O3, right? So O3 mini is kind of like a shorter version of that. It's not that model actually O3 mini. Oh no, you know what? It had been released, but it's been replaced by O4 mini is what it is. I thought it had been released. It has been. It was a previous model, but it's still really good because it can go and search the web, right? It can go and do these more agentic things. It can think about what it's looking for and go and do these like larger things. And is probably smart enough to do the thing that Apple couldn't do in working cross application and getting stuff done. So he's kind of teasing us here. And he's saying, like, when do you think it'll be ready? And I saw people in the comments. I voted 2026. I'm like, those models literally just came out and they're struggling to even run like smaller mini models on the phones right now. But the fact that he put it out there, I'm like, maybe it's 2025, but I put 2026.
Okay, so I'm not following, and maybe some of the listeners aren't following either. Why did he say what year do you think an O3 mini level model will run on a phone? Does it not already run on a phone? You can only do it from a
No,
desktop?
not natively. It has to go to the web to do it. I mean,
Okay,
like
yes,
running
that's what I
on
was
your
talking about.
phone without
Natively,
internet.
like without the internet. Like it will
Yeah,
be,
which means it's faster and it has access to more of your personal data on the phone.
but how will it store the knowledge base that it has without, like, how many terabytes of information does it hold at any given moment? That's why it can answer us so fast,
It
because it
doesn't
has,
need to store it because it has access to the applications on the phone.
but the applications on my phone don't have the world's knowledge that I might be looking for.
Oh yeah, no, sometimes it'll have to go out to Google to search. But the fact is it's running locally on your phone. It doesn't have to run on ChatGPT servers or anybody's servers.
You know,
I don't know.
I haven't thought I haven't thought why
Two in
that
the
would
weeds,
make a
two in the
difference.
weeds.
That is no, I mean, what you're saying is if it can run natively on the phone versus always, because I mean, basically, even if you're using it as an app, you're going through their servers to access.
You want it to run natively on your devices, primarily because it's faster and it can
Speed.
work more with your apps. But two, like secondarily, like it doesn't have to hit a server, which means it's actually more private.
Kind of like Siri, which maybe is why Siri is so dumb, because it's natively on your phone.
Yeah, and it's just they just haven't worked very
Clunky.
well on the tech. You know,
Right.
it's just
Right.
bad old tech.
Interesting. Okay.
So
So
that could be coming soon. I don't know if that means he's teasing like, hey, actually, we're going to be running this on Apple soon because Apple screwed up. I don't know. Like, who
so
knows
what's the
what
poll?
deals are going on in the back end?
You're gonna give us the
Sam,
poll results of what people think?
2025. Yeah. The fact that he put it there means that Sam Altman is the CEO of OpenAI, ChatGPT, by the way. And he is notorious for teasing like future things. So things like this aren't done on accident. He's clearly indicating that it's going to be happening sooner than we think. So we could be having agentic features on our phones
Right, but the
this year.
percentage wise, 40% of people said 2025, 27% said 2026, 14% said
Yeah.
2027, and then 18% said 2028 plus.
Yeah, I don't know why people put 2028 plus because it's clearly coming sooner than we think. Think everything's going faster than we think. And
Yeah.
to wrap up this episode, we had a viral thing, a post go viral from a company called SimilarWeb that showed like they have a number of different ways they validate this data, but it showed like what the average amount of downloads are per like day, and it shows from like May 25th to June 21st. If you look at the numbers of this graph, and if you're listening, like actually even if you're watching, so I'm not going to throw this up on the video. I'll drop a link in the description to this, but for sure. But like the graph has this like dark blue line across the top at over 1 million downloads a day in the Apple App Store as ChatGPT. So
Wow.
ChatGPT is getting over 1 million downloads a day. The next closest one
It's
is
Facebook.
Facebook, which is averaging like somewhere between 300,000 and 400,000 a day.
Wow.
And then everything else is lower.
Nothing's even
Everything
close.
being Instagram, X, TikTok.
Ugh.
Just to show you like how many more people are downloading ChatGPT every single day for the last like month here.
You know what blows my mind is that OpenAI isn't an openly traded company.
You mean that it isn't a public company?
Yeah, public company to trade in.
Yeah. No, it's still very much a private company. And that's
like,
you know what, that's a whole conversation in itself of what they are and why they are and the drama behind
I
that.
know.
I don't cover there's many AI shows that will dive deep into the drama that is OpenAI. There's a ton of it.
That's out here.
But it's just not relevant for marketers. So, but if you want to go on the deep dive, just go listen to almost any other AI show and they cover that at length.
Wow. Wow.
Because we don't cover it here. But there is a lot of drama around OpenAI. But ChatGPT dominating all the other apps in the Apple App Store right now, which is nuts.
Bro, we came, we conquered, we filmed. Podcast done, huh?
Is that the pod?
Well, we casted it for sure.